present video will enable you to understand the social and economic conditions of Chinese as well as the literature of the Chinese. In the previous class, we have seen the political history of China. Now, we will have a close look at the social conditions of China. The Chinese society was divided into four classes based on occupation. Based on the nature of work, the people were divided into four classes. The top class were officials, scholars, and teachers. The top most of the class, the government officials, military officials, scholars, and teachers. The second class comprises of farmers. Second class comprises of farmers, that is peasants. Artists formed the third class. The third class was formed by the artist. And the fourth class was consisted by the merchants, the traders formed the last class. But we also see slaves who were the base form of this class, as well as on the topmost the emperor was there. Emperor is at top and the slaves are on the bottom. You should know mandarins, a small class of people who were the scripture writers or the scribes. Mandarins are the small group of script writers who were the people who are able to read and write the Chinese script, enjoyed honor, respect, power, or scholars we can call them as, both in the society as well as in the government. If you see the Chinese society was a traditional society. It is a male-dominated society. Family formed the basis of the society. So which is the basis for every society is the family. So parents, especially mother, should be in the house to inculcate moral, ethical values to the children. Girl children were considered as a burden to the family. Whereas in other civilizations, especially in Egypt, the women enjoyed high positions. But in China, the women position was very, very low. The best examples were the girls were considered as a burden to the family. The position of women shows that not at all high. Anyhow, women commanded respect based on their fertility, workmanship, and obedience. If the women should get a respect, means they should have high fertility rate, means more number of children she should give birth. Second, she should be a very good worker and she should be obedience to the family members, and this will give her more respect. This is how the Chinese society worked. From here, if you move to the economic conditions, the society of China was based on agriculture. So it is agriculture-based society. Canals were used for irrigation. They knew how to make canals and they developed canals. So the canals were used for irrigating their lands. So canals also were for two purposes they dug. One for irrigation, the second one draining out the water or for drainage purpose as well as for navigation. They used agricultural implements made up of iron and wood. They also cultivated rice, soya beans, wheat, cereals were the main important crops. Cereals, rice, soya bean, cereals were the important agriculture crops. They also had tea and horticulture crops also grown in their country. They mainly domesticated animals like pig, sheep, etc. They also developed a poultry farm, that is a chicken farms. Their industry and craftsmanship, if you observe, there were craftsmen like carpenters, blacksmith or goldsmith, woodcutters, masons, potters, weavers were there. There was an important contribution of China to the world, that is the trade. The trade they started from China to Afghanistan, from Afghanistan to Persia, from Persia to Rome. They made, it is known as Silk Route. So the Silk Route also passed through Indian Ocean. So this Silk Route is the important trade contribution of China's to the world. So this Chinese exported silk, iron, tea, salt, cotton products to the rest of the world. They exported to the rest of the world from China. From China, they exported silk, iron, tea, salt, and cotton. All they are exported from China. And Indians also learned from China how to cultivate silk. But Chinese learned from India the growing of cotton. After 10th century, the Chinese goods dominated the international trade. So afterwards, opium formed the important items of trade. So the barter system was in practice. So before that, you can see from China, it goes to Afghanistan, Afghanistan to Persia, from Persia to Mediterranean Sea and to the Europe that you can see. So that is, opium was their own of gift, one of their gift to the world. So actually Britishers introduced opium into China. So from there the rest of the world had. In the beginning they were followed barter system. Later they followed using metals as a medium of exchange. Metals, or especially gold and silver, was used as a coins for the exchange. The coined money came to be used around 5th century BC. 5th century BC, they used money as a coins. Money lending and banking were practiced in China around 5th century BC. Money lending and banking were practiced in the China in the 5th century BCE. So from there, if you go to the learning and literature of China, this Chinese developed, on your right, a pictographic writing. This pictographic writings of Chinese has no alphabets like English, Kannada or Hindi. Our languages, we have alphabets. Therefore, we have parts of speech, but they do not have alphabets, neither they have parts of speech. The writing has been an important role. The writing is played an important role in unifying their culture, or cultural unification can be brought with the help of their writings. So therefore, the writings played a major role in the cultural unification. Their script also influenced other countries' script also. The Chinese script also influenced Japanese, Korean, Vietnam's script. So these writings are from top to bottom. Vertically they write, not horizontally. They write from top to bottom, that is vertical. They don't write horizontally from right to left nor left to right. They invented paper. They invented paper, silk, ink for writing purpose. They developed a literature for writing their own writings. So this is their writings of different countries, how the Chinese have influenced, you can see that. So the Chinese, as I said, they had a pictographical writings, and they had no alphabets, no parts of speech. So from there, if you go, they have 40,000 characters. This Chinese writing consists of characters. How many characters are there? There are more than 40,000 characters. These Chinese write a pictographical characters They consist of, or they developed these characters and logograms as a system of writing in the world. So, these Chinese developed later on these characters and logograms, and these characters of writing constituted of oldest continuously used system of writing in the world. So the Chinese writing is the one of the oldest form of writing in the world. So the Chinese wrote on, they had the practice of writing history. It is very popular in China. The rulers compiled their histories. The Chinese also composed prose, poetry, philosophy, and history. During Han and Tang dynasties, Chinese poetry reached the heights. The Imperial Library of Han Dynasty, you can see, had 3,123 volumes of classics, 2,705 volumes of philosophy, 868 works of medicine, 1,318 volumes of poetry, 2,568 volumes of mathematics, and 790 volumes of war aspects. And Tai Li Po was the greatest poet of Chinese. And his poets wrote 30 volumes of verses. Okay, Tu Fu was also great poet. So Chinese had developed writings on geography, geometry, arithmetics, calendar, astronomy, and predicted eclipses. So from here, if you go to the inventions of Chinese were the inventors of brush painting. We use painting brush. So they were the inventors of painting brush. They also invented writing brush. So writing. They also invented tea, gunpowder, glass, pottery, porcelain. So you can see some of them. This is a tea they invented. And the next one, that is gunpowder, porcelain. This is the porcelain. Pingani, we call it as. And rockets, already it is there. Spoon and fork, we have seen in our house. They also developed umbrella. They also developed, that is, Marinus compass and seismography, etc. This is a pottery they developed. All are important contributions of Chinese. This is a 2 marks question. What are the inventions of Chinese? The Chinese invented painting brush, tea, gunpowder, even printing press they invented, glass, pottery, porcelain, rocket, spoon, fork, umbrella, seismography, and Marinus compass were important contributions of Chinese to the world. They also changed the life of Chinese, also the Indian society, the world society. With this, we will end the video and continue in the next video about art and architecture,